Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Kyle. Kyle is from Denver in Colorado in the USA. So let's see what Kyle has to say. Enjoy the interview. Yeah, I can hear you as well. Hello Kyle, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. And you?
Tell me. I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Of course.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
Good and busy. I've just been spending the last couple hours doing some line work and getting ready for some scenes coming up.
Wow. So tell me, what has been the highlight of your day so far?
Uh, Finally getting one of the scenes down. That it's been just lingering on my to-do list. And yeah, I feel good about it now.
Tell me where you're from, Kyle.
Denver. Well, I live in Denver. I'm originally from Chicago.
And why the change from Chicago to Denver in Colorado?
Well, I went to school in Ohio,
Mhm.
and so I ended up, I graduate, I go back to Chicago for maybe only like 3 months while I was just looking for a job. And the very first job I got was actually back in Columbus, Ohio. So I wasn't planning on being back in Ohio as quickly as I was, but it just kind of shook out that way. So I ended up in Ohio for 7 years.
I see.
And outside of that, then I spent a little bit of time in Costa Rica. And have you been to Costa Rica before?
No, I haven't. I'm originally from Brazil, but I haven't been to
Okay.
Costa Rica.
Well,
No.
then you have probably at least an appreciation for natural splendor. And so this is one of those, Costa Rica itself, it's a beautiful country.
Mhm.
And while I was there, you call it an epiphany, call it just a greater understanding. I don't really know what, but I just sort of came to understand like I need some of this in my life. And so I already knew some people out here in Denver, Denver being near the mountains. There are no mountains in Denver. Um, but that was the reason I was like, I need some something that I can explore, something I can tunnel about in. So that was
Wow.
it. Yeah.
And all your family are back in Chicago.
Just about all of them. Yeah. We're a lot in Chicago, some in like Virginia, LA. Like we're kind of spread out a little bit, but a lot of people in Chicago.
Amazing. Okay, so let's start the interview talking about your career. I know you're an actor, you're an artist, a voiceover. I was checking a little bit your profile and I could see some videos, some of your work. So tell me how everything started.
Uh, well, uh, I just I was in a spot where I was looking for a job and like a corporate job specifically because I'd spent nearly a decade before that working for myself as a marketing agency owner. And so, all right, the entrepreneur is somebody who is, fiercely like, I'm doing this for myself. I'm going to carve my way out and I'm going to, gain whatever understanding I do along the way and hopefully implement that. Now, the moment that I decided, all right, I have to shut the doors on my operation, um, I had to mourn that in
Uh-huh.
essence. So the reality is, I was ready to go find a full time job, but I didn't know who or what sort of entity I was wanting to actually work for or sell my soul to. So it took like a tremendous amount of internal work. Understand, okay, what drives me, what motivates me, where do I feel passion in service, more or less.
Right.
And so in that process, I just kind of reached a why not point where, a friend put me in touch with an old agency that she used to be signed with. They took me on when I said I have an improv comedy and, public speaking background,
Wow.
largely due to simply working for myself. And uh, that just kind of spun everything into like, all right, let's get into acting class. And now, study karate, singing, um, firearms. Let's have an understanding of how all of this works so that we can not only do it safely, but ground it in reality if we're doing it for film, at least. So,
I love that. I love those life opportunities that come along. You embrace it, you explore it, you just
That's
literally
it.
dive in,
Yeah.
and you find your passion, you find your path. And I think that's the beauty of life, about trying, about being curious. But, it's amazing. I love that. I think it's great for you to be able to do that. Amazing.
Well, thank you.
O- Okay, Kyle. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey, okay?
Okay.
But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you.
This is no secret. I'm quite open about it, especially in the world of podcasting. But I was adopted at birth, and so one kind of an interesting component is that, all right, well, Will, you and I are having a conversation right now, and this is only because life has led me to this exact point in time. So that is to say, had I not been adopted, there's a pretty darn decent chance that you and I wouldn't be talking right now.
That's true. Absolutely. Everything happened for a reason.
That's it.
Love it. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
I will do what I can.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Mhm.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the interview, if comes up a question that you don't want to talk about or you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
Easy. First question is, what makes you most uncomfortable about dating?
It's really just how like ferociously honest I am, and that honesty is seemingly not something that's like a good thing with a lot of dating. Like I've heard people say, like, you want to be a little mysterious, like don't reveal everything. I'm like, well, this is who I am. I don't have time to waste with this. So if you don't accept me, we're good. Thank you for your time. So I don't know if it
And
terrifies me. It frustrates me though.
and one person to go on a date with you, what's something about the person that gets your attention straight away?
Uh, well, smart's the ability to like actually pay attention to the nuances. Because that, if there's one thing that I know about myself, it is that like what lends to and attributes to my interest factor, if you want to call it that. Um, it's what lies in the details.
Wow.
And if somebody can't pay attention to that, then it ain't gonna work.
Wow. Like I like that actually. I really like that. It's a challenge that you find straight away when you meet someone. I love it. And tell me the very first time when love hit you that you felt like, oh my God, now I understand the meaning of love. Now I get it. Tell me the point if you can remember.
It's a good question. Great question, actually. The difficult answer is that I thought I had love, and then it was kind of ripped from me.
Okay.
So I understood it to be love, perhaps for a moment of time, and well, it was lovely. I don't know any other word to describe it, but it was delightful.
And how old were you at the time? You were very young at the time. You were a
Oh no,
teenager.
this is by now 4 years ago, I'd say.
Oh wow! And tell me about your first kiss.
That was all right. So I was kind of a late bloomer. If we don't count there was like, so I grew up with my neighborhood, and so I'm not going to name any names here. But if she hears this, she knows exactly who she is. And I think this is, love is love, and I think she had a bit of a crush on me when I was like 4 years old, like a child. And we were like the same age. So it's not anything weird. But, I was totally like weirded out. I didn't know what was happening. And so she would like, give me a peck on the cheek, and I'd just be like, oh. So, all right. That wasn't really the first technical kiss. I was a late bloomer. I was a very awkward, like high schooler. And so right around sophomore year, I kind of found my way into a group of friends and kind of started coming out of my shell a little bit. And
Hmm.
I think we had like a King of Hearts dance or something in our high school. And that night, the plan was to go out to one of our friends' lake houses in
Yeah.
Michigan and just hang out, sleep there, like just make a trip out of it. And so we did. And I think one of the nights that we were out at that lake house, sitting on the beach specifically, um, somebody had the bright idea of playing Truth or Dare. And I
Ooh.
think everybody kind of understood that I was maybe not the most um, outgoing individual at the time. And
Uh-huh.
so someone just was like, let's just make Kyle kiss like one of the girls. And oh my God, I was absolutely positively terrified.
I
And
can
then
imagine.
apparently people liked that display so much that the rest of my like dares were like, okay, now go kiss her and her, and like pretty much like all of the girls in the group. Uh, so
Oh,
that was a
sweet.
very monumental night in my book.
And do you consider yourself to be a romantic person?
These days, absolutely. Do I share that with many people? No, not really.
I see. All right.
Mhm.
Next question. Let's do it. Hey, Kyle. Next question is good question. If you are not yourself, would you like to be yourself?
If I'm not myself, would I like to be myself?
Knowing the person you are today, if if you could be knowing who you are, if you had the superpower, maybe not being you, would you like to be yourself?
Well, I guess it would be circumstantial because if the life of some other person is like wildly extraordinary and like cool, then like I can't say that I would probably want to step out of that one. But that is to say, the life that I've crafted for myself, one, there's a lot of education, which is good because like just constantly learning new stuff. Okay, that's extraordinary. And I'm following some new kind of path. And so there's a lot of novelty to, what I get to explore, experience, and the sheer privilege that I have to perform and to practice what I am.
Hmm.
It's cool. Like I cannot deny that, even though I'm still relatively fresh in that, general career path. So
Yeah.
I mean, the answer is yes and no, but it, I would not say no, if I had to.
And saying that, what's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Kyle?
Uh, yeah, I think there's an innate curiosity that I hold for a lot of life, mostly different people. So I think that's part of the intrigue of acting is okay. Well, if I'm curious, then that means like, how is it that I get to embody somebody else for just but a moment in time. Um, but that curiosity is something that carries through any and all facets in life.
I see. Well, next question. Let's do it. Right. So before the next question, what's the biggest joy of acting? What do you like the most about it?
Knowing that we are like creating something that somebody else can see themselves in. That's the essence of storytelling right there.
And what's the flip side? What do you find most challenging about your career?
About acting specifically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a couple different ways that I can take it. One that I'll be pretty honest about is like, patience. Just understanding that, like, all right,
Hmm.
I've been an entrepreneur for a decade. I've been leading teams for quite some time. And, as the leader, you need to make, sound, fairly fast decisions confidently. Now, on sets, it's not that the individuals don't know what they're doing. It's just that sets don't operate that same way because things change, rewrites will happen. And I mean, the process of creating a film or a series or anything on camera, it's a wildly human process, and humans are just simply prone to um, uh, failure, to iteration, to trying different things. And so if somebody gets so stuck in their ways that they become impatient, as the actor, that's something I'm trying to pretty much avoid very heavily. And I'm having to largely teach myself that.
And be an actor in Denver, in Colorado, it's a place where there are a lot of opportunities. There are some auditions. You find some opportunities, or sometimes you need to, go to another state, other place in the US. How do you see that?
Auditioning largely outside of, like, there's an open call for like the TV show Baywatch right now that is only in person, out in California.
Okay.
The majority, the vast majority of auditions come in and they're virtual. And so they say, all right, tape yourself. So run the scene, spool it up however you want to, and then just send it to us. And then from there, we'll determine if this is, a successful exploration, bringing you into the project. So that's largely how they work. Denver itself, and Colorado mostly, we at some point we fell kind of off the map as far as like film, like dramatic film goes. I think at like a state level, the tax incentive that we were offering just like right out the door. So what that really means is the opportunity here is primarily commercial. So it's not bad, but for actors that are very strictly like dramatic, it may not be the best state to operate in. But if you have the flexibility to go travel and whatnot, then there you go.
I see. Okay. Next question is, what is something you wish you could do every single day?
Every single day. I think it would be interesting. I mean, it would be exhausting. So a component of it. So I don't know if every single day would be the apt, descriptor. But if I can get on projects that take me to these, exotic places, like Brazil, for instance, like it's quite affordable to shoot elsewhere. Like a lot of productions are shooting really not on U.S. soil, because it's economically just more affordable. So in other words, to get on some of these sets that have us moving around, to be able to shoot all this stuff, because, you shoot and then you add a little tourism in there if you have any days left over. It's the love of travel mixed with, the art, the craft of storytelling through film and cinema.
I see. All right. Next question. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. Right, before the next question, let's do a little game. So let's pretend that you got the biggest budget in your hands. So you're gonna put together like a play or a short movie or a scene or a theater. You've got everything in your hands. So, and you can cast any artist, an actor. It's okay. So you're gonna cast anyone to play your mom. Okay. Also, any other to play your dad as well. Could be anyone. At the same time, a romantic partner, okay, in this project. And also you can cast or you can collaborate with any director in the whole world. You got the budget, you got everything, so you can choose all those names. So tell me, who would you choose?
For some reason, I'm going Julia Roberts for my mom.
Wow.
Dad, who's the guy who plays Don Draper in Mad Men?
I'm not familiar.
John Hamm.
Okay.
And go with him for my father.
Okay.
And then you said lover, correct?
Yeah, romantic love, a romantic partner.
I don't know. Just a cute woman. Somebody. Given that I'm not seeing anybody right now, I very much struggle figuring out who I would cast for that. I guess it would be very specific to like what does the role actually require, far as a personality goes. But it would have to be somebody smart, sexy, and pretty quick on their feet.
Jennifer Lawrence. Oh my God, she got everything.
She's fabulous. I feel like I'm way out there. So, I mean, if we want to just take that Absolutely. Yeah, with pleasure.
Wow.
Um, and then you said director.
Yeah,
Who would I bring in to work on that?
the big boss to help you to put all together.
Uh, I think I'd go A24 because some parts of life just get abstract and they do a really good job with that stuff. I know that's not an individual, but as a production studio, it kind of,
I see.
that's in the ballpark.
And they're gonna appreciate that you are promoting that a little bit in English.
Hey, I haven't seen Marty Supreme yet, so I've heard good things though.
Okay, so now the question is gonna be a bit tougher now. So,
Tougher. No, I
yes.
hadn't even thought about that one yet.
Okay, so let's pretend that one day you're gonna wake up in the morning and you're gonna have three missed calls on your phone from those three you just mentioned right now. Jennifer Lawrence, Julia Roberts, and the actor, what was
John Hamm.
okay. Those three phone calls you're gonna have missed on your phone. Which one you're gonna call back straight away? Which one you're gonna send a message? I'll call you back later. And the third one, you don't call back, just ignore them for now. Those three.
This I feel like this is like none of this will ever happen. Yet I feel like this is the most damning question that you're asking. uh,
And all of them, the three of them, they're watching this interview as well at the same time. So you are
yeah. Okay. Let's go off of just seniority because I'm fairly certain that Julia Roberts is the eldest of the bunch. So, all right, if I get a call from her, she gets the first call back.
just because of her age.
Sure, ladies first. Why not?
Anyway, I'm just teasing you. Carry on.
The second, so John. Okay, so what were the options? Call back.
Send a message and ignore.
Okay, so John Hamm, he's getting a message. Then I'd just ignore
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jen
Oh
Lawrence.
my
Yeah,
God, I can't believe you ignored Jennifer Lawrence.
she's young and she'll forget about it. I'll call her back at some point.
Cool. Get it. Next question is, what the happiest day in your life so far and why you consider that?
I think it was the day I was adopted. In all reality, I couldn't tell you
Wow.
one single thing about it because it was the day I was born. And so I'm strictly going off of what I've been told is, the arrangement was very simple that, my birth parents couldn't afford to care for me. They were just simply too young, fresh out of college. And it would have been a remarkably different, potentially very difficult, life had things kind of shaken out in that direction. And the fact that the decisions, the choices that were made that, general timeline, it came about in a couple weeks time. So it all had, a very short timeline on it. But all of the decisions, all of the relationships that were kind of born within that short period that led to me coming out and landing in the hands that I did.
Wow.
That.
I love your answer, Kyle. I love your answer. Question for you: do you have contact with both parents?
I do. Yeah, it was an open adoption, and so heck, I could shoot a message out to everybody right now, and I'll get a response back before we're done recording this episode.
That's amazing. I love it. And tell me something right now in your life. Tell me a person that when you feel the happiest, this person comes to your mind for you to share the news or to share this positive moment. And also the same person when you're feeling the lowest, you feel like, okay, I go.
Well, those guys. So there's a few specific. They know who they are, and I'm not naming names here, but. They are just individuals who, and it's a two-way street because they can call me at their most happy and they can call me at their lowest. And it does not matter because we know each other, we understand one another, and we accept that. And we accept differences too. This is not to say we're aligned in every single capacity, but those individuals are not plentiful in my life because, well, they don't exist widely.
And what's the meaning of life for you when you think about life?
Well, there's always people have said different things to me. This meaning is specifically for me. I need that to be very strictly clear because I'm not defining this for everybody else. I believe that the meaning of life there is no universal definition.
Mhm.
Others would suggest that there is. I disagree, because everybody can follow their own track in life, and sometimes that meaning can change and morph along the way. For me, it is service. It is a lot of, it's kind
Okay.
of that the mentality that I think parents, bring to the conversation to say, like, all right, I went through this so that you hopefully don't have to, like help me remove roadblocks along the way that you might encounter, and thus you'll feature more ease, more success. I don't know what. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of it's just service, and taking my own lived experience and turning that into something that's productive for other people to
Uh,
hear or
Amazing.
yeah.
3 questions left. Let's do it. You like dancing?
I love dancing. I don't do
Right.
enough of it nearly though.
Before the next question, can you put it out? Can you put it out accents, different accents or not? Can you with
Oh
confidence?
sure.
Which one
I,
you?
I
Which one?
can. um it, the one that keeps getting me hired over here is well, it's the New York thing. For whatever reason, people love it. Maybe we don't have all that much around here. I don't know who, but whatever. Um, I'm innately from Chicago. I feel like that accent's gotten only more extreme. Um, but then there's a bit of a British brogue that you can bring to it too, if you wish, depending on the
Oh
character,
wow!
the situation. Then, well, if you're about to marry your sister, it's up to you. It don't matter where you. I do not judge. We're not here to do that. Maybe God says something different. For me to say.
Right.
So,
So I'd like you to answer the next question with your best British accent. Okay,
okay,
let's do it.
cheerio.
Next question is: what do you consider most romantic?
Mm. Well, there's something about a lovely candlelit dinner, sharing a plate that's not terribly remarkable in a place that's not really gaudy, but well, I don't know. There's romanticism. It's easy for many to paint this grandiose image, but no, for me, it is in the subtleties. It's in the eye contact. It's the way that we're connecting.
I love it. Amazing. Tell me now. You can go back to your, or maybe you can answer the other parts of the question with your best New Yorker accent. Tell me one of the best romantic situation that somebody have done for you, or something that you felt very romantic come from somebody else.
Mm. uh, you know, there are generalities that I can bring to this because for the life of me, I cannot, pinpoint one singular moment. But the things that mostly stand out are is those little gestures. Whenever somebody says, "Okay, uh, perhaps we're celebrating something. Perhaps it's just another Tuesday. I don't know what, but maybe I know you, and this is my gift to you. This is, I'm not one to say like I need gifts. That ain't one of my love languages. But when somebody gives me a gift that has, some baser meaning that's rooted in the human, well, it means you see me. My God, that means a lot to me.
Beautiful. I love it. Amazing. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, so before the next question, I'm sure you've been in so many situations where, um, you know, some scenes or maybe something that went wrong, or maybe you forgot your lines. Could you share a situation that you had through your career that, those oops moments that maybe something happened, not just with you, but maybe your colleague, or you're doing something that you go like, you know what, this moment I will always remember. If you could share, of course.
Yeah. Um, well, it's like those oopsie moments come up with great frequency in just about everything that I do. Because from the entrepreneurial, like the marketing coaching to, acting, these are all things that are relatively high stakes moments in time. And yet again, it's difficult to like recall one specific moment because there is literally so many that there isn't really one standout thing. The key is one, I can't get heated, because if that starts to be the case, then clear thought is, straight out of the equation. So, okay, if we maintain some level of calm, then how is it that we improvise in the moment? Improvise within the bounds of what needs to happen. If I'm dealing with a client and something is wrong, then how is it that we can make up for lost time? How can we potentially re-sweeten this deal so that things aren't soured? If I flub a line or something like that, then it's all right. Well, you play it through. You don't cut yourself as an actor. You just let what happens happen, and that's it. A lot of it is just improvise within the confines of the scene, with the confines of the client, whatever. I know that's not a great answer for you, but it's the best I can answer at this point.
Okay, genuine answer. Right. Next question is: do you think that your priorities have changed since you were younger?
Yes.
Tell me why.
How? In different ways, because I think there's always been a desire to belong. That component probably hasn't changed. I think I used to buy more frivolously, just stupid things. Like back when we had back when they still made like DVDs and like Blu-ray, like I had a huge collection of movies. These days, it's, the entrepreneurial undertaking has made me much more frugal with my spending, just because of budgetary, understandings. When you have the pressure of, you kill what you eat, you have to be a little bit more responsible with how you frivolously spend on stuff. So in some ways, yes, in some ways, no.
What would be the title of your memoir, Kyle? When you think about, one day to put it down, all your life stories and everything, what would be the title of it?
It would probably be something like Oopsie, period. Now let's make him a name for ourselves.
That's the title.
Something like that. Maybe a little wordy, but
all right.
Yeah.
Last question. Ready? Let's do it. Last one. But before the last question, tell me a little bit more about your career as a voiceover.
It's part of just like the fun of becoming somebody else. Like, what you asked me to do here is just answer certain questions in an accent. Like voiceover, if you're doing it commercially, like as like a narrator for a commercial or something like that, maybe you're playing it a little bit more like conservative. You're not going into like full bore character. But then there is the, audio drama component where it's essentially it's acting just without like the visual component. And so when it comes to like character work, what you'd see in like animated films or something like that, each voice, it's still the same human that's generating the voice, but there are just as sort of like a resting baseline. Like the British individual has different cultural norms that need to really come out to flavor it up in a way that it becomes a believable British accent. You cannot simply sound British. You need to speak as the British individual does, to say that like what they encounter on their daily basis is going to be innately different from the Ohioan, from the New Yorker and whatnot. And it's the same for every single accent, every dialect. That if you really want to get into the depths and the nuances of it, that's what it takes, is understand the history, the background, like what is the geographic location that this accent is central to. that's again, it's the essence of who is this person that I'm trying to become.
Love it. Last question for you is, if you could be a character in a movie, who that would be and why?
I, Villains are always just great fun to play.
Which one would you
um,
choose?
I don't know if there's one specific one. Like because in part I come from sort of the school of thought where it's um, like okay, so like the James Bond, like 007 franchise. Love that.
Wow,
I've grown up with that my entire life. And the Bond villains are notorious. They
totally.
are epic, or perhaps a little bit more subtle in some ways. But they're always very interesting individuals, played
Tot-
by oft talented actors. And so, like, to be in a world like that, where the villain is not only critical, but it's also this lauded, reputable spot, that,
They
or
got,
to be in a horror movie or something. I don't know. Villains are just fun to play because they're kind of twisted up. Um,
it, it just made me, I love movies. It just made me remember, like, realize something now. I think the villains, they have presence. People love
yeah.
them. Even though
Mm-hmm.
people, though they are so bad or whatever. However, when they appear in the screen, everyone goes like, wow, they got a presence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it, of course, everyone is cheering up the good man or the main character. But when the villain appears or do something, everyone goes like, "Wow, that's incredible! They got a presence, that's for sure."
That's it. And so that's always a fascinating one. But then, the rest is I like there's not really one particular character that I'd like to play. It's just a like I hope that I can end up playing just characters that other people can see themselves in, you know.
And for example, based on your look or in your, since you've been doing some auditions, what's the tendency that you've been cast for? For example, I don't know, villains or the good man or the handsome one or the more funny. There's something, you know what I mean? There is like a tendency that you've been cast to.
I don't know if there is a tendency. I'll give you one reality and then I'll give you a second reality.
Okay.
Um, one reality is think about the New Yorker, think about like the redneck. Like these are different like character tropes, and I can do them well enough that people really like to see me in them. Um,
Right.
because I can just bring interesting life to it. Now it's definitely in the character realm. But I can also kind of ground them in a much more real, sense. So there's a little bit of like typecasting is like, all right, well, we need you as the New Yorker. Halfway, that's on me for still just putting it out there. But hey, if it gets me work, it gets me work. Um,
Uh-huh.
but the other side of that too is okay, I'm a white dude. I'm
Okay.
nothing beyond that. I'm a European mutt. So, okay, within the confines of what a white guy can play that speaks English, that is from the US at least, there's, I think, a lot of versatility that I can bring. I'm a very flexible individual that can kind of dip into different realms. Like, there's not really one realm specifically. Like, people wouldn't come to me and be like, he's the romantic dude,
Right.
or the like the Dexter, like the serial killer that the audience empathizes with. The reality is like could bring life to each one depending on the
That's
situation.
amazing. Right. So then, yet, let's play now the word association game. Okay. I'm going to say some words, just a one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with money.
Uh, Sprint,
Fear.
also sprint.
Family.
Embrace,
Life.
live,
Love.
laugh,
Religion.
individual,
Sex.
mm, safe,
Politics. Politics.
unsafe,
Friendship.
lasting,
Desire.
Temporary.
I like that. Regret.
Hopefully temporary.
Success.
Real.
Wish.
Did you say wish?
Yeah.
Star.
Happiness.
Sublime.
One word for Chicago.
Windy.
One word for Denver.
Crunchy.
USA, one word.
Fucked.
And the last one now, acting, one word.
Explore.
Like that. Let's pretend I'm going to meet a best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, define Kyle in one positive and one negative word only. What your best friend would say about you?
Can that word be the same?
Yeah.
Honest.
Get it. Great. What's your star sign astrology, Kyle? I don't know if you believe in astrology, but what's your star sign?
Believe I'm a Gemini.
Gemini. All right. Let's play now, Kyle, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. All right, you can ask me a question now.
What is the core component that drives you to keep having such conversations as we have?
Wow, great question. You know, the answer comes straight away. People. People, they are so fascinating. You know, it's so amazing to be able to hear so many stories from different backgrounds, different beliefs, different point of views. You know, it's amazing to hear people express themselves in a way that, you know, other people, they find weird or maybe different or maybe unique or sometimes strange. And it's amazing to see that. I love connect with people. I love to see people express themselves without any judgments. I think the magic of the show is about that. People come here, they be themselves, they express the way they are, and that's the beauty of it. And I love that. I feel fortunate that I can sit here and connect with so many people around the globe, because that's what gives me this, you know, drive to do more and more interviews. So yeah, that would be very easy but simple and genuine. People. Yeah.
Some of the best things in life are overtly simple.
Absolutely.
I love that. Yeah.
Did you enjoy the interview?
I did. You asked very interesting questions.
Thanks again, Kyle. Thanks for taking the time for the interview. Thanks for being so kind and accepting the invitation. And also, thanks for bringing this energy. I love the way you express yourself through your work, through your arts. And I think that's amazing to see people, you know, just passionate about what they do. And it's great. So thanks again for making the time for the interview.
Of course. It's a pleasure to be here.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Fluidity, I believe, is one of the things that I don't know if it's a message. It's perhaps something that like a lot of people here at the in the U.S. are maybe needing to, you know, embrace for themselves, just because times are changing as they are. And times are a bit wild, you know, out here. Perhaps I alluded to that previously, but you know, for anybody here in the U.S., but then, you know, this goes well beyond. You know, the world is changing. AI is not simply just here in the U.S. The fluidity, what I mean by that is very simply just the ability to flex with the times. You know, if you're very stuck in your ways, it's difficult to, you know, continue moving forward often. And I'm not saying any of this is easy by any means.
No.
Because a lot of people don't like change. A lot of people don't like, you know, embracing something new that they're not comfortable with. So I understand that. But what I've had to really teach myself is that I need to be able to flex and be as much as I can like water as these weird times continue to progress.
Totally. You need to dip into it. You cannot avoid it, because, you know, if you don't, others will do, and you're going to be behind. So you need to embrace it and go for it. It's the only way to go.
That's it. Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks again. You got your friends and family, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Okay? Take care. Enjoy your day.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, First, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website www.williamandthemagicbox.com and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.